Shalom, shalom. I'm here to do the final quarter activation reading with my tarot. And the lighting is a little weird in here, so it's going from light to dark and all kinds of funny shadows. And I thought, well, I don't really feel like finding the perfect angle or the perfect light. I think that ultimately if you can hear me, that's really all that matters. And I'll do my best to show you the images of the cards. You see what I mean? We're getting some interesting shadow play in here today. So the final quarter of this cycle is upon us. Okay, we're moving toward the full moon. This is the last bit before we do our integration. So what collectively are we wanting to receive from this archetypal wisdom within the tarot deck? What questions do we have at this point in the cycle? Well, for me, at this point in the cycle, I like to ask, what more can I be doing? How can I make the most of this cycle before it's over and then I begin a new one? What can you reveal to me, cards, that will serve as a key to unlocking this cycle's fullest potential? So this reading is for the collective consciousness. It provides a map which essentially serves as an activation as we move through the final phase of this cycle. So whatever you've got on your mind, whatever energy you've been carrying with you today, I ask you to just let it go and create a space so that the wisdom can enter, so that we can get out of our own heads, so that we can be receptive. We can ask all we want, but until we create the space for the answer to come in, we won't receive it. So what wants to be revealed right now? What can you tell us, archetypes of the deck, faces of the one? What can you reflect to us right now that can help us to make the most of this cycle before it is over? Are you ready to begin? If you are, go ahead and put your energy into the deck however you wish. All right, I pulled 3 cards this time. Wow. Oh, wow. This is really awesome. Check this out, you guys. So the first card I pulled, okay, it's the 4 of Wands. Then there's a 5, the Hierophant, Major Arcana. And then there's a 6, a 4, a 5, and a 6, just like that. This is why and I say this all the time, this is why I shuffle as much as I do when we begin the video, so that you can see the magic is very real, okay? So we have a 4, a 5, and a 6. And look at that beautiful symmetry. Like, look at the numbers here. Look at that palindrome that's created in the imagery. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. So the first card I picked was the card of the current time that we're in, okay? It's the present. It's the 4 of Wands, and Wands are spirit, fire, and it's the card of completion of a cycle. Balance, foundation, a form for the new to unfold. So it looks like we've done the work in sealing up a cycle. We're feeling complete in this cycle. But because this is the final quarter and we specifically asked to be shown what wisdom wants to be revealed so that we can extract the most from this cycle, there's something else that wants to be seen here. So while we have, reached this point where we feel we've completed some sort of a cycle, there's still more to unfold to get to the Lovers. This is the card of the future. The Lovers is another major arcana card. And the Lovers isn't always what you think it is. The Lovers is a card of attraction, but not necessarily between people. It's the card of having to decide between 2 different paths. Deciding out of those things that we're magnetized to, out of those things that are attracting us, which one or ones are the ones that are going to be for our highest good. Okay, and the thing is, if there are multiple decisions that need to be made, they're all going to reflect, there you go on you guys again, they're all going to reflect a deeper truth. Okay, because all contracts must be aligned inside. So essentially when we look beneath it all, we see that there's always only two paths. There's either this way or that way. Not so much, as far as the physical details of our lives, and because then it gets very confusing and materialistically entangled, but underlying, okay, we have to have our goal, our path, our single point direction, and then all other decisions are made based on that goal. This is the easiest way to make sure we stay on the path and that we keep all of our inner and outer contracts aligned so that all of our thoughts and all of our beliefs support one another. And so the Lover's card is telling us that we're stepping into a future where we are going to have to make a decision. We are going to have to choose between two paths. We are going to have to make a big decision. And in order to get to the opportunity to even make that decision and to see the situation clearly so that we can have that opportunity to decide, we're going to have to cross a bridge. So while we may feel complete right now, we are complete in a sense. In one sense, we're always completing a cycle and beginning another in each moment, because all timelines exist in the present moment, of course. So we feel like we've come to the completion of a cycle, but that completion has created a foundation for us. And this is, again, it's the ending of a cycle, but it's also the beginning. Okay, so we've formed the foundation and we're moving toward the future of this Lover's card where we're going to have to make an important decision, and we'll have had that foundation prepared so that whatever we do decide, we will have all the support we need to move in that direction. In fact, all the foundational work that we've done up until now is going to determine what that crossroads even is in the future. So by the time we get here, we'll know exactly which way to go, because we will have manifested that crossroads itself. So the truth will be very obvious. Now, the bridge between the present and the future is the Hierophant, another major arcana card. The Hierophant is the exoteric teacher, the sharer of knowledge, but it also comes with dogma and old program beliefs and things like this. So as we cross this bridge, okay, we created the foundation and we're moving ahead to the future. But the way to get here is we have to cross this bridge. We have to let go of old beliefs. We have to let go of other people's ideas of truth, considering them all, of course, but not falling victim to them, extracting and discerning the truth from all of those expressions and forming our own truth so that we get really in touch with the religion of our own heart inside. Okay, when we do that, we get in touch with that religion of our heart, the religion of truth inside of us. That becomes the compass to guide our way, so that when we move into the future and there's this, apparent crossroads, we recognize it. We know why it's there, like anything else in our reality, and we say, oh, I know why this manifested, because I did that, because I am projecting that into my reality for a reason, so that I can be ever more aware of my creative powers. And so again, by the time we reach this crossroads, we'll have done the work with getting in touch with our own heart compass, and we will know which path to take, this or that. We will know whether to go down that road or to go down that road. It will be very clear. But after having, done all this work we've done in spirit and come as far as we have, if we don't extract only that which is true, and if we end up taking with us into the future those beliefs that maybe aren't really ours, beliefs that aren't really from our own heart center, maybe some of those beliefs that we're bringing with us are, but perhaps, again, we're still carrying the beliefs of other people, ones that we don't necessarily have a truthful relationship with, okay, these beliefs that are not necessarily the best. If we take those with us into the future, then we're going to continue down some pretty treacherous paths. All paths leading to one, of course, so there's nothing to fear. But why not do the work now so that when we come to that crossroads, we make the decision that's for the highest good of the one in a way that allows us to move forward gracefully with less crises to go through, to experience, so that when life decides to change on us, it doesn't feel like the rug is being pulled out from under us, because we are expecting it, because we are connected to it. We are connected to the unfolding, and we're riding that wave, and we're aligning our will with that of the divines who changes with those seasons. Okay, and then therefore we are aligning our manifestations with all of nature. So we know what to expect and when to expect it. So that things like coming to this crossroads or having to decide between this or that becomes very easy. It becomes very easy at that point, because if you have a solid foundation in spirit, if you feel complete in who you are, if you feel whole in yourself, and you get in touch with your heart's truth and not just the truth of others, then you'll carry that with you wherever you go, and you'll know which way to go down. You'll know which road to take. So how does this reflect right now for the collective consciousness and, you know, the point that we're in right now and within this cycle, within the great cycle? It looks like it's really time to discern, you guys, and also to not shut out other people's truths just because of our own previous limiting beliefs that are already in our minds. Okay, so for example, it's like, say your mom has a piece of wisdom to share with you, but you're not hearing her because right away you think, oh well, moms think they know everything, because over and over again when you were a little girl you heard this left and right from people, or you're a little old boy and you heard this left and right from people, that the mother always knows, mother knows best, and you resented that. And so deep in you, you built up this belief, you cultivated this belief that mother doesn't always know everything, and that's annoying. And then without even realizing that you program this belief into your mind, as you get older, you build your whole reality around this belief and all the other underlying ones that were subconsciously programmed into you. And we don't even realize where that came from. And so that's a more esoteric understanding of this archetypal energy. We're thinking we're being righteous and not following the old ways and the old programs. Or I'm not gonna repeat their old mistakes. But even that could be an old paradigm way of thinking. It's so tricky when we get into that realm of, which way to go, which way to think. Is it the old way or the new way? Is it the ancient way or is it the modern way? It's the present way. It's whatever your heart connects to in this moment, beyond judgment of, the word. Whatever anyone's telling us, may we receive it with new eyes and new ears and a fresh perspective, so that regardless of whether it was relevant then or if it will be relevant in the future, we'll know if it's relevant and why right here, right now, in this moment. So we have to be careful that we don't, just throw wisdom out the window, deeming it old paradigm simply because of our own limitations. We're tricking ourselves. We have to be so open. There's no harm in just hearing someone out. There is no harm in listening to the wisdom of elders. Be patient. No one's saying you have to accept it. No one can make you believe something. That's your right if you wish to take it in and really give it your power and your energy. But if something is being presented to you, it's not a matter of like, oh, I either should take it in or reject it. It's like, let me observe this and I will extract the truth in it one way or another. Whether the truth means seeing it as false and forming a belief around that, or seeing parts of it that are true and forming a belief around that, it doesn't matter. Everything is just information to be observed, and our perception of it is everything. So let's not think of, what's the wrong way or what's the right way, and, is ancient wisdom the truth, or is, modern technology the truth? Why don't we just be present and extract the truth from everything and anything by getting out of our heads and our judgmental perception? So this is a tricky one here. This is a tricky one. Don't try so hard to judge what is old paradigm. How do I reprogram my mind? Like, the more complex we make it, the more difficult it becomes to let go of these old thoughts. And so just be present and just breathe and ask yourself when you're studying or when somebody is giving you, a piece of information or sharing their wisdom, just ask yourself, how is this relevant right here, right now? There's nothing to fear. So, when we get to this place, we will know what to do, which way to go. Thanks for tuning into the final quarter reading. I don't usually do final quarter readings. I've always just done an initiation activation for the new moon, an inspiration activation for the first quarter, and the integration for the full moon. But I'm now doing the final quarter readings before the full moon, and that makes it 4 readings a month. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you go to youtube.com/RebeccaMagic and hit subscribe, and you will get these 4 free readings a month for the collective consciousness. And yeah, this is based on a lot of my recent travels in the mind space and realizing that it's really important to, at this time now, add in the 4th, the wisdom of 4, and the moon, in a way that it works in quarters, it reflects the light in these quarters, reveals a whole different perspective than the observation of the light of the sun. When we look at the quarters of the moon, we can see it as a reflection of the 4 worlds of creation, the 4 worlds of formation. And we can, by adding in that 4th part, that final quarter, we can begin to look at these readings and these activations and even the great life cycle in a whole new way. Thanks for tuning in. Also, just want to say that there is a video on my wall and on my YouTube channel in just a moment here about Kabbalah and about how Kabbalah is a technology. It's not a religion, it's a science, it's a technology that is accessible to anyone who wishes to dive in. Yes, Hebrew is the foundation of Kabbalah, but Hebrew is not just for Jewish people. Hebrew is a language, and anybody can study any language they want. And what's more is that it's not just a language, it is a technology, because it is based upon the multidimensionality of our very nature. Therefore, Hebrew is hieroglyphic. It is, it reveals the essence or truth behind anything or any word. It doesn't matter what language, as long as we can say, you pick any word like dog, d, g. We find the Hebrew letters that are equivalent to that sound, and we find the correlating images to each of those letters, and they tell a story, which reflects more clearly the multidimensionality of our nature, like I said. So there's no other language that does this. It's very unique, and again, it's a technology that can be used by anybody. So if you're more interested in hearing about things like this, if you're interested in Kabbalah and spiritual psychology, science of the mind, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/RebeccaMagic. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the full moon. Peace.